I'm going to start
Go for it.
recording it. So, welcome to Wednesday's Forex League live trading session. It is May 20th. Another day in the markets for us at Forex League. We, as always, are going to start with DXY. This is Saved by FX here. Nick Dark FX is going to get started for us and, just start off with what is DXY and why do we look at it?
Yep. So DXY is just a dollar, dollar index. So it just simply shows the strength of the dollar. And we look at this because, if you guys know a little bit about Forex, the US dollar makes up for 80% of all trade. And it also is considered the reserve currency of the world. So, there is always a lot of demand in the dollar and, people are always going to want it. It's always going to be the major currency that kind of drives the market. So, and we've been breaking it down for quite a while now, quite a few months, on these sessions. And through our analyses, we've been, just covering this every time. And I always like to hop on here, just get a better understanding of what's happening with the dollar on a day-to-day basis. So just to jump up timeframes here, you can see that it's primarily bullish, right? On this daily time frame, it's in a pretty strong bullish channel, right? So we've established that. Now we can drop down to a 4-hour and kind of see what's happening intraday, this morning. So taking a look at this, we saw last week, what is this? What day is this? On the 18th, that it fell out of this rising wedge, and it's actually making a push back down to the 98.5 area. So it's good that it's ranging. You want to see a stable dollar because it is a reserve currency. You don't want to see a reserve currency being overvalued or undervalued, because then that just causes, it wreaks havoc pretty much for all other currencies. So the more stable the dollar is, the better, right? So we did see it fall out of this rising wedge on a 4-hour. Now we're making a play down to this 98.5 handle. It could definitely reverse a little before that, but this is a good sign that it's, you can see that it's pushing up towards this 101 handle, pushing down towards this 98.5 handle. So this is good. It's forming good structure, especially through other pairs. You'll notice as it stays and plays within this range and these little, these like bullish channels, bearish channels, bullish channels, bearish channels. That's good. As normal market structure, we want to see that continue to happen. So right now we're in that bearish phase, right? A little bearish channel happening on this 4-hour. Not a big deal. I didn't form structure. I drew a little fib here right after it broke this pattern. So from high to low, pulled back just through the 23.6. The MA is holding pretty well, but it didn't actually form structure around the 38.2, which is definitely where more confluence would have been. Let me show you what I mean. Right in this area, so we got the 38.2, we got the weekly, we also have the 200 EMA. So this would have been better for a pullback, but that didn't happen. So, I mean, we could definitely still see that.
It's always going to be.
You good? All right. So, it didn't play to the upside. This was the preferred path, the blue line that I had, mentioned in a previous analysis. It didn't push up to the 101 area, but it did still, the sentiment was still there. The idea was still there. It did fall out, and it's heading back towards the 98.5. So short term, we're bearish on the dollar, right? Until we start seeing some, more reversals, something like, something maybe down around this negative 27 handle fib level. So we want to see this pull back there, some sort of reversal, a slowdown in price action. But right now it's looking pretty strong, especially since it just rejected the 23.6. So it's definitely got a little bit more in it. But we'll be watching. I'll be looking for a bounce in this area, something like this. Something like this. Bounce anywhere in here, right? And then we can start looking at, a long dollar again, within this range. So yeah, that's DXY. So now we've got, an understanding of what's happening with DXY. We're seeing that it's short-term bearish. We can then, move on to other pairs with that sentiment in mind. And, Angela's got to get into some major pairs, which are directly affected by, US dollar.
So let's get started here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for everybody. We got this. We're going to pop over. Take a look. Whoa. Okay. So let's take a look. This pair we've been playing around with all week. So let's look at USEF first. Again, just a little top-down analysis on how we got to this entry and why we're in profit and everything. Weekly time frame, obviously very bearish. We're below the 200-day moving average. The only three indicators that we use are up here, 200 MA, 8 EMA, 18 MA. So those are the only ones that we use. Obviously, we're very bearish. We wanted to draw a little trend line here, obviously point A, point B, right here, point C. So we're very bearish at this point. Most recently, we've had a lot of bearish price actions. We've had this bearish engulfing here, this bearish engulfing here, then this failed candle right here, then this doji leading into this week. So everything pointing for us to take a short opportunity. Then down to the daily time frame, this is where I put my overall Fibonacci, my overall, structure. This was our previous lower high. This is our low. Then we started to range within our fibs. We retraced all the way to this supply zone, all the way to the top. This is the supply zone right here. Found rejection, pulled back, found rejection here. These moving averages are crossing, showing that a lot of sellers came in at this point to drive and change momentum. So this became really our most significant lower high right here based on this cross. Then we have a pullback, cross the moving averages, retesting this level, manages to fall through again, a little bit of a cross here. So this becomes a nice lower high. So we're just forming 3 consecutive lower highs. And then we've been looking at this for, the last 13 days. We've been waiting for the short to come. There hasn't been on the daily time frame. There hasn't been anything from just candlesticks forming, like any sort of clear signal. So I've been down on the 4-hour, and the 4-hour time frame is where I really got this idea from. And there's 2 spots that I'm looking at. One is this area. Originally, this was that break. We had some 4-hour bullish structure right here. We had this higher low, made this new high, higher low here, double top, huge wicks, fell through right there. And then obviously this was the break right here. So that's where we fell through. Then we, retested this lower area that we're not going to talk too much about at the moment. But that's 0%. And then we came back up to this level here. That was that 100% level. And then this is where we started to, find these opportunities. Is basically we had in this area, this long wick. We could have took a nice confidence trade in this area. Would have been good. A lot of confirmation here. But if we were patient, that's okay. We got this. So we got this pullback down here, found support, broke through the moving averages. Then this was the transition we were really looking for. Break of this level right here. Break, retest, back to that level, supply zone, all this confirmation. This level holds. We talked about this so many times. This level held. And then now we started to get all of our reasons to sell. We got, bearish engulfing up here. We got this bearish, variation right here. We got this bearish engulfing here. 2 bearish candles here. 2 bearish candles here. So just a ton of confirmation. At this point, I was down though on the lower time frame. I had taken an entry. I believe I had taken an entry right here at the beginning of the week. Unfortunately, we got stopped out by 4 pips based on this huge spike right here, which is everything is a lesson, guys. So we had the stops right here at 44 pips based on that trade. Obviously, we were targeting like around 100 pips. So this was a solid risk reward. Now, if I just used my confirmations a little bit more, like I did in this area with this stop, moved it up to 50 pips, 55 pips, whatever, we still would have been in this trade. So we did get pushed out of this based on like Trump tweeting about a vaccine or some bullshit. And inevitably, this just accelerated this trend. And as soon as I saw that wick, that's when I sold personally. And then in the signal room, because just based on previously how this pair, every time it wicks like that, it just sells off. And it also was maintaining structure levels. It was maintaining this level of structure. On the 30-minute, we have lower low. These are all lower highs that are forming. Lower low, pulls back, lower high right here. Starts to find some support, pulls back, retest this lower high right there, falls off, new lower low, retest this lower high, starts to consolidate, starts to make these pullbacks. So we're forming consecutive lower highs here. And then finally, we just formed a new low. So we just pushed to a new low. Entries again came here. And then inevitably on this 30-minute, these are all entries. I had entered here for the signal room, right at this level. We had a bunch of bearish engulfings through the moving averages. Stops were in a very good spot up here, being protected in the sense that if these levels broke on this 30-minute, then this trade would be invalid. So if we just pop over, right now, this is the trade that we're currently maintaining, USD CHF, next level, 0.96400 that we're looking to get to. So this trade we're just going to continue to maintain. I'm looking for this to continue to sell off. Next TP is this level right here, minor support, right there that we're looking at. If we go back a little bit further, 400, some support here, support here. So this is the next level. And then below there, we'll get more to our targets as we get down to this level, inevitably. So that's my trade. And then this is our signal room. The final TP on this, I believe, is 9,600, which is right here. So that obviously gives us a nice 2-0 risk reward. So yeah, well, don't be afraid. Like, we put stops to break even now. This thing could pull back all the way up to here and retest and continue lower. Like, look at these legs, pull back, pull back. You know what I'm saying? So look at this, pull back. So, don't be afraid that this thing could come back a little bit, but there seems to be a lot of momentum right now for this thing to continue lower. So yeah, that's USEF. Just going to continue to maintain and trade. UJ, this is funny. Yesterday I took a little order on UJ and then I closed because I was like, I'm not going by my rules. So we're just going to delete this. But let's talk about UJ, where we're at. Let's start all the way up on the higher time frame because overall we are bearish, on UJ. Up on the weekly, as you guys see, a lot of times start on this weekly time frame, or every time start on this weekly time frame. So UJ obviously below the 200-day moving average, again below these indicators as well, these moving averages. So we are bearish. We just hit a serious level of support though. So we talked about, weekly time frame, just candlestick analysis, some bearish, candles here, a lot of exhaustion on each of them. Inevitably, we get this spinning top, which is reversal candle, inverted hammer, which is reversal candle. That's where we started to see a lot of this bullish momentum come off. Let's start to go down to the daily time frame. We have, again, our fibs. This is where we see structure very clearly. We have this high, this lower low had formed. So we broke structure here, came all the way back up to retest this supply zone. I'm just going to drag it across. Again, supply zones, how do we draw them? From the wick. Let's go from the wick, or if there's no wick, the body of this bullish candle, and then drag it across to the body of this bearish candle. So that is our supply zone. That is where price found orders that sent this thing tanking. So see, price came up into that supply zone, retested, came through the moving averages here, a little bit of a pullback, and then finally we started to cross. So that's what made this is the significant level of structure for us, this cross right here. So daily time frame breaks this level, we are bullish. Until then, our daily sentiment is bearish. Our weekly sentiment is bearish. So we're bearish on the two overall higher time frames. Now on the 4-hour, with all this pullback, this is still significant, very significant. On the 4-hour, we started to break some structure. So on the 4-hour, this was our structure, lower high here, formed this low, pulled back, lower high, formed a new low, broke through, break right here of structure, made a new high, right there. So we are in some 4-hour bullish structure right now, guys. We're in some 4-hour bullish structure. We talked about the buy earlier this week. What am I looking at now is, I could fib from here to here. Let's just think of what would be an idea that kind of makes sense, at the moment. I am waiting for this to come up to this daily, level up here. I am anticipating the retest of this level. That's why I have this draw and this arrow come up, retest, and then falls. Don't get me wrong, though, we could fall here. The only thing is, I am not at this point there's not much confirmation here on this higher time frame. I think there's one confirmation here, the 618, which is definitely nice. And I guess there is some resistance here as well. So if we were to see anything at this point, if I were to take any sort of entry opportunities in this area, it would have to be some sort of break of like 30-minute structure, honestly similar to this, break of structure here. Because look on the 30-minute how this has maintained. High, higher, low. Again, these moving averages, retest the high, higher low form right here, pull back again, another higher low. These levels don't break. Then we come up, new high, pulls back, higher low, cross the moving averages. Then we get a lot of, indecision here before accelerating. Then here, pull back, moving averages cross, buyers come in, find support, show that there's still enough to send the momentum bullish, and then inevitably this is like the price where sellers came in and they established that this trend is changing. So the 30-minute time frame, the trend is already changing here. The trend is already changing, which is significant. Good support at 4-hour 200 MA. You mean for this pair? Let's see. Looks like a double top. Yeah, it is like a double top right there. Personally, I'm just wary on this pair right now because realistically, I am bearish. I am bearish on UJ. I'm not trying to take anything in particular. I will say this: if we get something similar to this, because this 4-hour is bullish, if we get something similar to this, um, a pullback through the moving averages, I will not enter on something like this, and then pulls back again, and then a huge bullish engulfing. That's why I was so bullish at this point, because you can't, fake this. Like this showed us double bottom, 2 times, bullish engulfing. And then as I went down to the 30-minute, and saw structure, it was like, okay, 30-minute structure broke right here. We went over this, retested, then we retested that level again, held. So that gave us a lot of confirmation. For us to, now that the 30 minutes showing bearish structure, basically what would need to happen is we would need to pull back, form a lower high, form a new low. Then that lower high, we would need to shoot up, break through there. That would be our 4-hour engulfing. Just thinking through time frames here. That would be our 4-hour engulfing if that did happen. At the moment, right now, we would need this high to break to consider any buys. This is bearish on the 30-minute right now. This is bearish on the 30-minute. It's pulling back. The 1-hour right now is bullish. The 4-hour, like I said, is bullish, and the daily is bearish. So this is a little bit confusing to be taking buys, and that's why unless I get a lot of confirmation here, I'm gonna wait, and that's why right now I'm not gonna short or anything based on this 30-minute level. I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for as much confirmation as possible, and we'll come back with some updates, on UJ. So this pair, I'm gonna stay on this 4-hour time frame. We are looking at that, definitely a lot of confirmation at this level, 38 to 200 day, stuff like that. So we'll see. I'm going to stick on the 4-hour. We're going to go to red. UJ. Let's talk UCAD. UCAD is showing us exactly what we want to see right now. Exactly what we've been going over, guys. So UCAD earlier, Sunday we talked about where was the entry on UCAD. Let's bump to the weekly. Again, we've been going over this so many times. Weekly, supply zone, bearish engulfing, bearish engulfing. And then last week, faked us, bullish engulfing. But we were smart in the sense that we went down to the daily and we knew exactly where we were at. We were within these 2 red zones. We were forming lower highs here. All the way down to the 4-hour. We broke 4-hour structure right there. This was the first pullback. This was the retest. This right here was the retest after falling through the moving averages, found resistance again. So as we went down to the 30-minute, this was 30-minute structure, high, higher, low, high, higher, low, this high, and we formed this higher low right here. This is what broke. Boom, this broke. That's why we were looking. If you go back to the live session on Sunday, I literally said short at the cross of the moving averages, and I freaking didn't take the trade because I went and just snoozed the rest of the night. So freaking this happened, clear entry, fell off like a fuck ton.
It is very clear. Oh
This
my
would have been
goodness.
a huge trade right here. Um, so yeah,
Look at that little 30-minute transition too. That was like
apologize for
text.
that. Definitely. Now at this point, there was another entry that just presented itself. So as this happens, like I was just looking now, we were at this low right here. And as we are at this low, we were saying yesterday that we need a pullback. We need to pull back, find resistance at this daily support level, which previously hasn't broken. You know, look at it previously, has continued to found support, most recently at this level. So we just retested this level. This is like the most significant for us. And we just rejected the shit out of it. So, you know, right now, let's bump up to the daily. Obviously, there's a lot of room to fall right now. There's a lot of room to fall. We're at the 0% level on this 30-minute. You know, a nice entry honestly would have been up here, like right after this, moving averages cross. You know, this would have been 50 pips. We would have been up around 38 pips right now. So we're not going to enter anything. We're just going to wait for the next little pullback. You know, wherever that may be, it could be in this area. Just a little pullback is all we need to continue this trend. I do believe that this thing is going to continue to sell off. So we're going to look at that. We're going to wait, you know, for the next pullback. I'll put this out in the premium analysis. So I'm going to put this as orange right here. Boom. So I'm put that as orange, you know, wait for a nice pullback. If we do get another lower high, we'll definitely short this just because the probabilities is there. We have this daily resistance level. We just had a nice fall off. You know, we have 30-minute structure forming very nicely. So yeah, the probabilities are definitely there for this pair. And let's just bump up real quick to the 1 hour. Yeah, this just formed a nice 1 hour lower high. So that is also something to consider. This 1 hour lower high, we had been forming higher lows, you know, based on not only the 30-minute, but the 1 hour. This was that 1 hour break right here. Boom, first lower high right there. You know, if you wanted to short now, your stops would be 90 pips and you would be targeting this lower level, which would be 240. So this trade would just be a little bit less high probability, as in the entry is like a little more, is a little, you know, sloppier, but, you know, there still is a little opportunity there. If you guys are interested, again, you know, stops would be above this level, around 95 pips, I would put them at, and then you would just target that monthly level. So yeah, we'll see. You know, we'll wait on this. I'll wait before entering. This is UCAD. Let's bump over to NU. Let's see how this pair is playing out. We're getting something very similar to previously. So NU, we've got this huge weekly engulfing that just happened, and then we found support at this weekly level. So now we're surging, we're testing these highs. Let's just look at structure. Let's not get confused here. You know, we had this little idea yesterday that we're going to go over in a second. But basically on this daily time frame, we just formed a lower high right here. The moving average is crossed. This found a lot of momentum right there. This level needs to break on the daily. On the daily time frame, we need a daily, you know, we need another candle to form. This needs to close. Next day's candle needs to close. So on the daily, we are still bearish. On the 4 hour time frame, we are up in this level. Now this is a little sloppy right here. I'm gonna just clean this up. I'm gonna adjust my idea. I'm gonna adjust everything. So we're gonna take all this off. Boom. Based on that daily, I don't want to get faked out here and long too early. If we look at this on this 4 hour time frame, we broke structure right here. This is where we broke structure. We formed a new low. Now we're pulling back. These are the highs that I'm going to use. These are the highs that I'm going to use. I'm going to adjust my supply zone. I'm going to put it right here. Boom. Just like this. I know we had this pullback here, but this pullback for me, and I was thinking about this honestly yesterday, this pullback for me doesn't managed to make the moving averages cross again. This is just being maintained. So this isn't as significant enough for me to call this structure. I'm just going to use this point as structure for me. You know, price fell off significantly, moving averages crossed, very similar to this. So these are our, you know, highs that we need to test. So again, daily time frame, we need to close above. We need to close above this level. On this time frame, I'm not even gonna put this fib on there, but obviously we're at the 100% level. We're at the 100% level. So pretty much this is like our last line of resistance right now. This is the last stand for NU. So we'll see what happens with NU. We could either find some support here, or if we do break above this area, like I said, we're going to basically on this 4-hour time frame, we're going to sit on this time frame. We're going to look for the break above and then the retest, and that's when we'll start to consider longs into that level. Let's just bump back up to the daily. So this was a daily support level previously that had formed. So, you know, on this 4-hour is really what we're looking at. You know, if we form a new high and pull back to that high or low, then we will, you know, long this pair. So that is NU. Stick it on the 4-hour. So nothing doing for now. GP news coming up. BSD just to get M and retest. Good support about. Yeah, no, definitely some good insights over here into the chat. Let's just bump over to GU. So GU, people are shorting this way too early. People are trying to trade this way too early, guys. GU on the weekly, you know, definitely bearish. Definitely bearish. Had a little bit of a sell-off here. Let's just bump down to the daily, start to see structure. You know, daily time frame, form this lower high right here, made this new low, retested 38.2. Now we're pulling back. This is healthy for us. We're pulling back. We're still overall bearish. We're still overall bearish. 4-hour bearish. You know, bearish until we break this. Bearish all the way up until this level. So you'll see I put a lot of, you know, I've been using a lot of supply zones. We are bearish all the way until we retest this level up here. So yeah, we are bearish all the way until we break this level up here. Let me drag this across. Boom. But I am thinking that right now we're retesting this daily resistance level. There's a lot of confirmation right here. So I had drawn this yesterday, you know, come up, retested this 618 resistance, all of this potential sell-off right here. So this is where I am looking to potentially sell off right now. So we're going to look for some shorts on the 4-hour on GU. So again, GU, NU, and UJ, we are going to stay for now on these 4-hour time frames. UCAD, I'm looking at the 30-minute for some sort of pullback and entry. And then USEF, we are just going to continue to maintain and continue to, you know, hold our orders and be short on this. So UCAD is definitely like the highest on my watch list for today for any moves, like potential entries right now. And the rest of these, what I'll do with the 4-hour ones is you know, obviously the next 4-hour candle closes in, you know, 3.5 hours or something like that. And once that happens, I'll come back, look at how that formed, wait for another 4-hour candle. You get the vibes. So, you know, patience definitely pays in this situation. For everybody in the you know, in the session, we are going to do a giveaway. So post in the chat your name, your Discord name, post in the chat your Discord name, $20 giveaway. So do that and I'll get that set up, and Nick's going to hop on and he's going to go through, you know, the pairs that he has prepared for you guys. So I'm going to stop sharing and pass that along to Nick.
Perfect. Thank you, Angelo. Those are good analyses. Very, very nice. A lot of setups, a lot of good setups, a lot of good trades that we covered. So quick recap on DXY, right? We, you know, established that this is in a little bit of a 4-hour bearish trend now, right? Fell out of this rising wedge. Now we're seeing bearish momentum pushed to the downside. Still a little bit of room to drop. So, you know, we're going to stick with that sentiment for now. So with that said, we can move on to our next pair. So to our first pair. So AU right now, is where we're at. Let's go ahead and jump to a higher time frame, get a better understanding of where we are. So we could see off the bat, right, very bearish, right? We see this giant bearish channel to the left, right? And then we see this huge spike to the downside, and then we see this pullback. So this is recent price action, this pullback, right? So we can then drop down to a 4-hour, and clearly we can see this is a very strong 4-hour bullish trend, right? You know, it's getting these large volume moves to the upside, large push, finding support on a pullback, large push, finding support on a pullback, right? But you know, that's where we are now, and we found support here around 0.64, and you know, we established a range between this weekly and this 0.64 handle. So you know, we did mark out these potential scenarios yesterday, both a bullish scenario and a bearish scenario. We were favoring the bearish scenario because the overall time frame is very bearish, and we are at a weekly level of resistance, which is extremely significant. But we didn't see that bearish volume come into play, right? So this is, we see U.S. dollar tanking, so naturally AU would then be, you know, rising, and that's what we're seeing right now. You know, it just keeps making these, it's pushing higher. We're seeing a lot of bullish momentum, and it did break this, you know, lower time frame resistance, you know, and tested as support again. You can see a few wicks in there. Good exhaustion off this level. The MAs are just carrying price action right now. There's probably a little pennant in here on a smaller time frame, a lower time frame, but right now it's looking like, you know, it's definitely more of a bullish move opportunity rather than, you know, bearish. There is still potential for this bearish move to happen, but we would need to see a crap load of volume. Like right now, we would need to see this. Right? We would need to see something like this to push it down. Let me clean this up so you guys don't get confused. Right? We need to see something like this. Extreme bearish volume at this current level. It is more or less just a test right now. You know, for this to be a confirmed closure above, I want to see it push a little bit higher, right? I want to see it get up in this area, probably above, you know, 6.6, above 0.66. I want to see it get above there and then pull back for a confirmed higher low. Give us some structure, give us a fib level, right? Because right now we're not seeing that. It's just, we're going to label it as just a test right now, right? So even right here, it was a 23.6, not confirmed structure. Now we got a new high on this, you know, this little trend here, this little bullish trend. So this is a new high right here. And for it to pull back, we need to hit this 38.2. You know, but even then, you know, I want to see it push up, like I said, up to the 66 at least, you know, up to here, and then pull back, and then get a confirmed higher low here. But you know, right now we just got to wait on some confirmations, and we're pretty much ready for either scenario. You know, if we do see that large bearish momentum or that large bearish volume come into play right here, you know, I want to see it blow through these lower time frame support levels. So like there's a couple in here, lower time frame. So this is like 1 hour, 30-minute stuff in here. I want to see it get below this, completely break that, get below this yellow zone as well. We can extend this now. And then we can start, you know, looking for plays down to the 0.64 handle, and then ultimately look for that higher time frame transition around here, as like was originally marked up, right? This blue path here. You know, but until that happens, we're gonna, you know, just be following this trend for right now. So let me just adjust this. So yeah, it's definitely looking more bullish than anything else. You know, we'll be ready for this once we get that confirmed higher low, and then we're long. You know, and that's, you know, and that's us adapting to the market. You know, that's not me marrying a bearish trade. You know, I'm not only looking for bearish setups out of this area. However, it is, you know, more likely that a bearish setup was to present itself in this weekly area, especially because of how significant it is and because of how bearish the daily time frame is. But, you know, that doesn't rule out, you know, a bullish opportunity, which, you know, we could be seeing in the next few hours. You know, so always be aware of both scenarios. You know, don't ever just marry one bias. You know, we're seeing a transition here, you know, potentially a transition here, and then we will then look at this from a different perspective and be looking for long opportunities. So that's AU. Pretty interesting for right now. So let's keep going. Take a look at AJ. All right, here's AJ. So right, same thing yesterday. We marked up two potential scenarios, much like AU. Right, let's go ahead into the higher time frame again, get a better understanding of what's going on. Super bearish, and there's a crap load of volume on this pair. We'll see these large pushes to the downside, and then we'll get a retracement in the form of a bullish channel, right? Large bullish channel, right? So large bearish push, bullish channel, large bearish push, bullish channel, large ass bearish push, Now we're getting that bullish channel right now, right? So when is the next bearish push going to come? You can drop down time frames and kind of mark up some areas. So there was a lot of potential for this next bearish leg to come out of this weekly zone, right around the 70 handle. You know, right, we have this bullish channel here. We want to see a transition, a break of this channel. And this trade, this bearish trade down here, why did I do that? Oh my goodness. Hold on one second. What the hell?
Yeah, you guys make sure you guys are putting for the giveaway. Make sure you guys throw your Discord name in the chat. We're gonna do $20 giveaway at the end, and then also I'm gonna do a little announcement at the end as well. So I don't know if you're viewing.
What's going on with this chart right now? Oh my goodness!
Somebody shared over you. Let's see. Oh, who can share? So you want to just share again?
Well, hold on. My screen's bugging out. I don't know what the hell's going on here.
Let's see. So yeah, just throw your name in the chat, your Discord name. I'm gonna get all you guys. We're gonna do the giveaway at the end. You guys that are just joining up.
Dude, what is going on with this computer right now?
Oh, I don't know. Wait, you can't share?
No, it's bugging out on me. Hold on. No, I can share, but my screen is super zoomed. Just give me a second here. This is. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know.
Watching this right now.
So yeah, we're gonna take a little break as Nick figures this out. And again, just put your name in the chat. I'm just gonna share my screen real quick.
Please.
And let's just go over. We're gonna hop in here. So I was gonna do this at the end, but we're just gonna do this now because we'll take a little break. We do still have this sale going on. There's 6 spots left. If you guys are interested in joining the full course membership, we're only doing 10 spots. We do work with you one-on-one. You know, the 50 videos are in there that are content is being updated pretty much, you know, every week. You know, there's new content coming out, weekly trade reviews for the people in signals. You know, we're pumping those out every single week. You're going to get the trading plan. You're going to get all the premium channels in the Discord and everything like that. If you do want more information on what's included in this, you can pop over to our website. So you can pop over to forexleagueco.com. You can scroll down. You come on here, do a little scroll down, and you can just watch this video right here. And this will tell you everything that you need to know about what's inside the program. So again, you know, only 10 spots. There's 6 left. So if you want in at the end of the session, you know, just shoot me a message and I'll get you set up. And yeah, so let's pretty much. Are you good to go or what?
Yeah, I'm good.
You're good. All right. So I'm gonna stop sharing. We'll get Nick back up. I see a lot of people submitted for the giveaway, which is good. Definitely take advantage of that.
Yeah, that was super odd. Anyway, so back on AJ. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, keep dropping your names for the giveaway. Okay, so we're here on the daily, right, AJ? So as we were saying, you know, this is a very strong bullish channel, and this is the pullback that's happening right now. I actually lost. I had to reset the whole chart, so I actually lost my channel. More or less this. This is that bullish channel, and we're waiting for that next bearish leg to come, right? So we wanted to see a break of this channel, you know, but it didn't play over here. We thought it was going to be this on this push. I was expecting it to break, but it formed a double bottom right at this 200 MA, and actually is just continuing with this 4-hour bullish channel. So it is breaking significant resistance around this weekly, around the 70 handle. So to me, that's saying that this 4-hour, you know, channel, this 4-hour bullish trend is not done. You know, so where could we potentially enter on, you know, a short-term long opportunity, right? And that would be right here at the 70 handle. We do have closure above, right? Pretty significant. We have some consolidation here, which is good. But, you know, I would like to see this ideally. I'd like to see a little more consolidation, maybe another little push higher, you know, kind of off the top of the upper part of this channel here, this trend line. And then I want to see a pullback. Pullback, get it on a fib level, bullish confirmations, bullish setups, and then we could target higher towards this higher time frame, the top of this higher time frame channel, right? And then we could start looking for shorts once we get there. So what this would look like, on a fib level would be like this. We're looking to get in on the most confluence. So right around this 38.2, even if it did push a little higher, you know, 38.2 as it lines up at the top of this weekly zone, which would then be tested as support, would be reason enough to enter if we saw those bullish confirmations. So this is what's looking like the highest probability trade for this pair right now is a long opportunity after confirmed higher low, after we see those bullish setups, and then we can get, you know, well over 200 pips, well over 250 pips, looking like a three-hour risk reward, you know, 90 pips protecting ourselves outside of this, you know, weekly support after it's confirmed. And then we're looking to get way up to this, you know, negative 61 handle, the top of this bearish channel, this 88.6 fib level on the daily time frame. So definitely a lot of potential here, a lot of pips to be had, you know, good risk reward. So, you know, we're ready. And again, I'm not just marrying, you know, a certain bias. This is super bearish, right? But I am looking for potential long opportunities as the confirmations present themselves on the lower time frames here. So, you know, this 4 hours looking pretty clean so far. As far as structure goes, as far as just riding a trend, you know, this fits all those rules. And we're just going to wait on those confirmations and, you know, enter on that higher low if it presents itself. You know, if this does turn super bearish from here, we need to see extreme bearish volume that blows right through the support and then ultimately breaks this, you know, bullish channel and gives us a confirmed transition to the downside. You know, something like this originally marked up over here, this blue path. Blue bearish path. So, you know, we'll see what happens. This one is probably quite a few hours away, at least 16 hours to a day or two, but we'll be waiting and we'll be watching. So always wait for those confirmations. You know, you see how patient I am. I'm not like getting eager to take a trade that it just broke resistance. I'm not playing some breakout strategy or anything. Even if this does surge higher, you know, I'm not really going to care. You know, I'm waiting for my, you know, my perfect rules to be met. And, you know, we're close, but, you know, not quite there yet. So let's keep moving on to EU. All right. So this one's interesting. Damn, I lost a lot of this markup too. What the hell? Technical issues, guys. Not always fun. All right. So let's go ahead and mark this off how I had it. It's basically something like this.
Yeah, just a quick note. I remember when I first started trading, I would do my analysis and then I would get upset if it got deleted. Notice with us, if the analysis gets deleted, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We just continue moving. It's from one thing to the next, and that takes time to build up. You know, it definitely takes time to not get upset over you performing a full analysis. You know, you have more experience, but things are gonna happen. This game is, you know, unforgiving to say the least. So you just gotta continue to keep it moving.
Yep, absolutely. So it doesn't really matter. You know, you're still the analyst. You're still seeing market structure how you normally would. You know, just because you had a trend line marked at a certain level that you really liked, you know, doesn't really matter. You know, again, this little channel here that that I just drew in. You know, I had this labeled yesterday because I wanted to show and, you know, give you guys an example of this range. And it had gotten deleted along with my bullish projection, but it doesn't really matter. You know, we're just going to go in and, you know, analyze it how we normally would anyway. So, you know, the higher time frame super bearish. You know, we know that. Here's the daily, right? Super bearish. A lot of volume. This is actually a pretty wide channel, but it's very bearish with these large bearish legs. Some consolidation in the form of a, you know, bullish 4 hour trend. Large push to the downside. Disregard this crap. This doesn't make any sense. This is all news related, so don't pay attention to that. Then we get this large bearish leg. Now we're in a consolidation. You know, we're consolidating pretty heavily within this range, right between pretty much 1.1 and 1.075 or 775. So we're just seeing it range. We're seeing it constantly bounce from this area right here, right? Constantly bounce from here. I'm just going to draw these in so you guys can see it easier. Boom, copy, paste, bouncing here, copy, paste, potentially bouncing here, right? And then same with this. We're seeing a lot of bouncing from this area. So this is definitely just a confirmed range. Bounce here, a lot of bounces in this area. So that's basically just what we're seeing happen right now. For this we are bearish, so obviously our bias is more bearish than anything else. That would be the highest probability trade. And this trade projection was that exactly, right? Once we were coming to this area, I saw this was a confirmed lower high. It had, formed a lower time frame fib. So it looked pretty good. Plus all that exhaustion, there's a little engulfing in there as well. I think you can see it, right? This engulfing. So I was expecting, another retest of this little structure level, and then a push lower with plenty of bearish setups and confirmations. This would have been a really great trade. Over 2-1, 2-0 risk reward. 200 pips for a risk of 100. That would have been a great trade, but it didn't play out. We didn't see the confirmations in a lower time frame that we wanted to see. So, we step back. We come back to the 4-hour. We see what's going on. We start identifying that this is not done raging, that this is going to continue to push up, and it is right now. But if we see something like this, you could get a little bit of a confidence trade. If you see a lot of exhaustion, so a large push followed by a lot of exhaustion, and then get some bearish setups in a lower time frame. This could be a confidence trade in here. Not the highest probability trade. Granted, we want to see a clean transition. But, again, you could take a confidence trade in here. So what would be a safer trade? It would probably be something like this. Right? There's a little bit of a lower time frame zone in here. For me to take a high probability trade, I want to see a push lower. Let me get rid of this arrow so it's not confusing anybody. I want to see this. I want to see a break through the MAs, a lower time frame fib level, confirm lower high, bearish setups, and then we could target back towards the bottom of this range, something like this, right? So I'm just looking for these transitions, these confirmations, and then I'm not getting ahead of myself. I'm not playing a breakout strategy. I'm not just entering if I see a crazy ass wick. You always want more confirmations, the higher probability of the trade. The more confidence you'll have in your trade, the better you'll feel about it. So this is that potential short opportunity from here. I want to see a push lower, retest, confirm lower high, right? Or if you do see a huge wick and then a bearish engulfing following, there's a couple confirmations in there. I would take a reduced risk trade potentially from this area, but it all depends on how it plays out at this zone. So this is EU. Again, we're still looks like quite a ways away from any sort of entry, but we are just ranging for now. So this is EU. Again, all these analyses as they get closer to entry will be posted in in Discord. So that's as we get to the lower time frames. So the 4 hours posted on Telegram, Discord, and just the general analysis. And then once we get onto the 1 hour and 30-minute confirmations start happening, we'll put it into our premium signals analysis. So let's keep moving. This is EJ. Very similar to EU as we just saw, right? Kind of gave us a little pullback back into this range. So let's go to the higher time frame real quick. Super, super bearish. Very, very bearish. And it didn't hold at this monthly resistance, which is pretty sad. We did have this potential short opportunity plotted. We thought it was going to find good rejection here and then just continue lower with this bearish momentum. However, it didn't. There's actually a trend line in here too, where it just completely broke through, right? So this was that trend line, and then it broke through. So this would have been a great pocket to see a short opportunity, but it just didn't play out. So let's drop to the 4 hour and see what's going on. So it's definitely looking like this is a transition, definitely a 1 hour transition, potentially a 4 hour transition. Let's go ahead and clean this up a little bit. Get rid of this short opportunity. All right, so what could we see going forward here? Let's see a nice get on the conviction candle, low to high. All right, if we see this, pull back through the MAs. This is a little pennant. You guys should know, if you guys know patterns, this is a pennant right here. See this consolidation after a large push? So that hints at a continuation, not a bad sign, but not enough for me to enter on, right? I want to see something like this. I want to see a pullback near this 38.2 at the very least, because this area has a lot of confluence, tons and tons of confluence right here. The MAs are here, the 200 MA is here, previous structure is here, this blue line right at the 50%. And, we would like to see this, fib level hit, followed by some confirmed bullish setups. That'd be reason enough to enter long. Again, this is a short-term position. This is technically counter trend trading from the daily, but this 4 hour, does have an opportunity here. So, let's just target the 61.8 for now, over 200 pips. I'm just showing you this because it is a pretty good risk reward. It's about 2.5. You can even protect yourself at a lower level here, right about 2.0, 70, 100, 115 pips outside of this monthly support. So we could see something like this. Pretty good trade. 2-0 risk reward, a 2-1 risk reward. Pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. But again, we're just waiting on confirmations. I want to see the perfect setup out of here. So a lot of confirmations because this is a counter trend trade. You know, I want to make this counter trend trade the highest probable trade possible. So I want to have the most confidence. I want to have the most confirmation. I'm not going to jump into this at all because I don't need to, you know, because overall we have established that this is very, very bearish, and a large bearish push could come, you know, from any one of these levels. So that's why I especially want to see extra confirmations on this 4-hour before taking a long opportunity. So as this does play out, you know, if it does give us the right confirmations, again, I'll put this out in the analyses, in the premium analysis section. So, you know, just be ready for that if this does play out. So let's keep going. Last one I got for you guys is gold, right? Looking pretty good so far. So I had marked this up yesterday that this made this big push. For those that were, you know, late on the entry and still wanted to get in, I marked up this potential entry on a retest. And it did give an entry opportunity, actually. I'm going to drop to the 1 hour just for this pair. It did give an entry opportunity. So whoops, my fibs. So right in here, right, this is a huge, huge level, right? Huge demand level right here. You know, it came back, you know, it hit it. It gave us tons of exhaustion. It pushed up, you know, established a smaller resistance level right in here, right? Came back down to test this support once again, this demand zone. Gave us tons of exhaustion, and then pushed above the MAs, tons of exhaustion off the MAs, and then the MAs are just carrying this. So it's looking like it's going to make a push back up to the 1800 handle. There was an entry opportunity in here for those of you that did, you know, get in on it or just analyzing. Let's go back to the 4 hour, see what's going on. So, you know, I'm still pretty good on this 1800 target. You know, right at this negative 27 fib level is a huge weekly resistance zone. This red zone up here. So this is very likely that we're going to get there. This is forming really good structure right now. Gold is moving pretty good. So just continue to manage this. You probably should be able to move your stops to break even at this point if you are in on this. And this was a 2-1 risk reward, pretty good. So yeah, I'm just looking for more momentum to push gold higher to 1800 at least. So we're about halfway there. We're at 1750. Good sign. Good sign so far. So that's gold. No, I just like covering this because, you know, it is relative to, you know, DXY and other major pairs. So it's always good to cover. But yeah, so we're definitely long as hell on gold. Looking good. Quick recap for you guys. Covered DXY. Look, it's dumping right now. DXY is pushing down, as we said. So this is good. Going to see it reverse down in this area potentially, we said. So that was DXY. Covered AU. Covered AJ. Covered EU. Covered EJ and gold. So, you know, again, guys, if you haven't typed your name yet for the giveaway, do it now. Absolutely do it now. And yeah, good luck to all of you guys. So,
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take all your guys' names down for the giveaway. I'm gonna put it through that little raffle that I do, and then I will put the winner in the chat afterwards. Again, just one more time. I'm just gonna share my screen. Come over here. If you guys are interested, in our little sale, just hit me up after this. This has been another Forex League live trading session. As always, we appreciate the support from all you guys. You guys are definitely our team, showing us much love. So we're gonna upload this video to YouTube after. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow, 9 a.m. for the next trade.
you guys be there. Thank you guys for joining.
Hell yeah. Peace out.